Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be another installment in the Strictly Chats updates, and today's topic is going to be the release of Ghosts from the Past 2 and the leaked images that appeared online yesterday. What we're going to be doing is ranking all of the ghost shares that we saw get leaked, as well as see if they're going to have an impact on already existing cards in the market today. So without further ado, let's get into it. So starting things off, we're gonna go with the shit tier, the bottom tier, the worst tier, which is only one card. That is the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Form. I personally have no idea why they chose to put this card in here. I mean, if they wanted to put a dud, you could have put like a playable card. You could have put something that, not a lot of the collectors care about. But Sphere Form doesn't target the collectors. It doesn't target the players. What is the point of this card? I really don't understand it. In the case of the Sphere Form though, there is really no competition because, again, there's no collector card that everybody goes towards or can identify. I mean, I don't even know when this card was released or in what set or whatever. So, like, the whole history of this card is not really existent. So it's like, how is it Ghosts from the Past? I really don't get this one. And because of that, it's going to get a D in my books. And if I decide to open some GFTP and it turns out that this is what I pulled, I'm going to be upset. So that's the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Form. The second card that was leaked last night is Eye of Timaeus Ghost Rare. I put this card in C tier. The reason I don't put it on the same tier as Sphere Form is because Eye of Timaeus actually has some prominence. The problem with this card is that with cards like Magic cards and anime prominent cards only, the first appearance is usually the most prominent, and it's like by far, like the thing is not even close in terms of the second or third printing. I mean, I don't know how I feel about a Magic card Ghost Rare, but we'll let it go since the set has so much fire. I think that Eye of Timaeus is a C tier card, and I would definitely consider it a dud if I was trying to pull something from this set. The only competition Eye of Timaeus has is DRLG1, and I don't think that this one will eclipse the price of that one. I think that one has definitely cemented itself as like the card to own in terms of Eye of Timaeus, in terms of Dragons of Legends. I definitely think that that's the card to get. I don't think that people are going to be like, oh, I'd rather have the Ghost Rare of this. Simply because every other card in that set is a secret rare as well. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So I don't think people will gravitate towards Eye of Timaeus too much. And I think that they will consider it a dud if they decide to open some Ghosts from the Past 2. We're climbing up the ranks now. And we're going to get into another card that is more playable, doesn't really have any anime history, but I think that it was so dominant when it was being played that, it has a piece of history in it that a lot of people have to show respect for. And what we're talking about is Dark Armed Dragon. The problem with Dark Armed Dragon is because it's so playable, the reprints are actually really good. So obviously we know that the first appearance of this card is in Phantom Darkness first edition. And then the second appearance was in Turbo Pack 6. I know that there's been a couple of printings in between, but we don't really look at those since those are a lot easier to acquire. Turbo Pack 6 is pretty much extinct. Phantom Darkness is pretty much extinct. So it's safe to say that these two are the peak rarities. Now, which one I would choose? I'm the type that goes after history. I don't really like the looks too much. So to me, it doesn't matter what the rarity is as long as it's the first printing. So because of this, I gravitate towards the Phantom Darkness. However, I do understand why people love the Ultimate Rare because that card is freaking gorgeous. That's Dark Armed Dragon. Now, in terms of what the Ghost Rare will have in terms of effect on this card, I would say that the raw card price will definitely go down. Do I think that PSA 10s of Dark Armed Dragon from Phantom Darkness will go down in price? Absolutely not. I think that card is a holy grail in the GX era. And I think that most people will give up a lot of their collection to acquire that in PSA 10. The price of the raw cards, however, might dip a little bit since, again, you have another one of those, max rarities or top tier rarities that people can put in their deck, and they don't have to just buy the secret rare or the ultimate rare. So I think that this is good for the player base, the people that play like the Edison format, the older formats where Dark Arm Dragon was very prevalent. I think it's perfectly appropriate to put it at the B tier because it's an average card. I think that people will be like, okay, I pulled the Dark Arm Dragon, but I wish I pulled the other big ones. So that's dad for you, and I think it's a B tier card. The next card is, in my opinion, another B tier card, which is the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This is completely personal and subjective. In my opinion, I think Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, or actually any fusion card, doesn't look that good in Ghost Rare. I think the contrast between the pearly white and the purple is just a little too much, and I honestly don't like them. I like Ghost Rares on Synchros the most, and because of that, I don't really see myself collecting Blue Eyes Ultimate in Ghost Rare. I just think it's a little tacky, to be honest with you. I don't know, something about it just doesn't look right. To me, I think that the most prominent copy is the Jump Secret Rare version. I think this one will compete with it. This is going to be the first time this card is printed not in a promo form other than Duelist Pack Kaiba. But again, Duelist Pack Kaiba was pretty difficult to pull. I wouldn't say it's like extremely difficult. You still need to open a couple of boxes to pull it, but it didn't impact the Secret Rare variant, right? Like the Secret Rare variant is still the king in terms of all Blue Eyes Ultimates, and that's because it came first. So I don't think that the Ghost Rare will affect the price of the Secret Rare variant. Plus, the Secret Rare variant is not even that expensive to begin with, so I think that they'll have their own territories. I don't think that they will clash. However, it is a Blue Eyes card, so because of this, I have to push it above the C tier. So I think B tier is appropriate. I think if people pulled it, they'll be like, meh, all right, I wish I would have got something else, but at least I didn't get, Eye of Timaeus or Sphere Mode Winged Dragon of Ra. So yeah, that's Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Now we're hitting the A tier, and the first card in the A tier, in my opinion, is Cyber Dragon. The reason I like Cyber Dragon in the A tier, not the B tier, is number one, it's very playable. So it allows people to have extra copies that they can have access to that are good looking. I don't really think that they compare to the Ultimate Rares. I think the Ultimate Rares are still kings. However, I do appreciate that, Cyber Dragon players are able to get these cards in their deck without having, to pay an arm and a leg for an Ultimate Rare. I do think that it has a little bit too much competition. I think that 2 Ultimate Rares it's enough to hold the Ghost Rare back. I don't think that it'll be a dud though. I definitely think people will be happy to pull Cyber Dragon because, it is an anime prominent card. It appears with one of the best protagonists / antagonists in the show. Plus the fact that it is extremely powerful in terms of the game. This is one of those few times where you're going to see the anime cards having any type of impact on the playable card game, right? I think that Cyber Dragon kind of meshes these two worlds perfectly, and because of this, I have to push it over the A tier. I think a lot of Cyber Dragon collectors are going to want that card, and I think a lot of Cyber Dragon players are going to want to use that card. So because of this, I think it's going to be a hit. It's not fire, but it is definitely a hit for sure. Next up is Joey's Ace Monster, Red Eyes Black Dragon. If you go into the Yu-Gi-Oh community and you ask them what are the Mount Rushmore characters in Yu-Gi-Oh, they'll tell you that Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, and Dark Magician Girl are the top 3. And then Red Eyes, hangs out in the back, as well as Jinzo, Summon Skull, etc. So I think that it is an A+ tier card because it's a Dual Monsters card. It is Joey card, which is like a lot of fan favorites. However, I don't think it's on the same level as the other S tier cards. And because of this, I would say it's a notch above Cyber Dragon, but it's a notch below the cards that are coming up next. Next up is a card that not a lot of people are going to expect to be this high up on the list, but I truly believe that Red Dragon Archfiend will be an S tier card. I think Red Dragon Archfiend is one of those cards that If you look back in history, you ask yourself, why the hell did this not get a certain rarity, right? Like, it's, for example, like SDK Art Blue Eyes. Why the hell did they not put SDK Art Secret Rare, right? Like in one of those tints. Why did they copy the LOB art over and over again? Red Dragon Archfiend is one of the 5 Siren Dragons, and it's the only one that never got a Ghost Rare. Like, I mean, in terms of this list, if anything deserved a Ghost Rare, it is this card, right? Like, none of the others really belonged in the Ghost Rare era. They're just being kind of thrown in here in this set just to make more money for Konami. For example, Red Dragon Archfiend, I mean, I remember back in the day, I was like, you know, Stardust got it, Black Rose got it, Ancient Fairy got it, Power Tool got it. Why the hell did this one get only an Ultimate Rare? I think that this is an S tier card. I think most Ghost Rare collectors who want to fill up their binder and their 5 Siren Dragons, they're gonna want this card. And because of this, I can see the prices eclipsing Red Eyes. I can see them eclipsing all the other cards I already mentioned. I really think that Red Dragon Archfiend will do really well in this set. It is niche and it is, you know, an acquired taste. You have to like 5Ds. However, I think that in the long term, people will seek out this card to fill out their Siren Dragon Ghost Rare collection. And I have to put it in the S tier, honestly. Next up is the iconic Blue Eyes White Dragon. I think this is an S plus card. I think this is the card where, you know, if people pull it on YouTube, you're going to see the open mouth picture, because I think this is going to be the chase card of the set. I think a lot of people are going to try to buy this set only for this card and the card that's coming up. I think that this card will carry a lot of prominence in the future. I think it will always hold value because people will regard it as the hardest Blue Eyes SDK art to pull. The last time we could pull it was Duelist Pack Kaiba. Like, think about that. Everywhere else it came as a promo. So I think that a lot of people will chase this card. The unfortunate part is that it has a lot to compete with. You know, it has BPT, it has FL1, DDS, EN Blue Eyes, SDK, LOB. It has a ton of Blue Eyes to compete with. I think everybody that pulls this card will be extremely happy, and they are not going to say, I wish I pulled this instead. The only card that tops this card is the already confirmed Dark Magician Girl. Dark Magician Girl was supposed to be in Ghost from the Past 1, or at least that's what the leak said. And then a lot of people started buying up the cases. All of a sudden, it wasn't in there, and a lot of people were left holding the bag. Now is the redemption time, and because of this, I think a lot of people are going to go ham on this set. I think a lot of people are going to be buying this, and they're going to be trying to get the Ghost Rare Dark Magician Girl. I think this card is an S plus tier. I'll put it on par with Blue Eyes, if not a little bit ahead, simply because there's less competition. Really, there's not a lot of hard to acquire Dark Magician Girls other than the Magician's Force and the Legendary Collection Yugi's World. These 2 cards are the only ones where, you know, you could say that I have to shell out a couple $100 in order to acquire it, right? Even the unlimited MFC version goes for a couple $100. So I think this card will compete with those. Do I think that the raw card price will go down? It might. Things like the unlimited MFC, it might bring it down a little bit. Maybe the unlimited Legendary Collection Yugi's World might come down a little bit. But in the long run, I think it's so drastically different in terms of aesthetics that people will want both. I personally want one for my collection. I'm going to try and get a PSA 10 for my collection. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, if there's 2 cards I want from here, it's going to be the DMG and the Blue Eyes. So those are my picks for this set, and I'm sure it's everybody's picks for this set. But man, I really want to get my 2 cents in before we end this video. I honestly don't know what Konami's thinking with this set. I mean, they are stacking it to the brim. Honestly, I mean, really, what could you do if you did Ghost from the Past 3? There's literally no cards left that you can put in this. After thinking about it for a little bit, I actually came to the conclusion that either Konami's coming up with a new rarity, or they're gonna really take the Starlight rarity serious and start putting in, you know, the chase cards like the Dark Magician Girl. Like, imagine if they did a Starlight Dark Magician Girl. Oh my goodness, like all hell would break loose. If they did SDK art, if they did SDK art Starlight Rare Blue Eyes, forget it. Like, forget it. Like, that set will be ripped for all of time. Honestly, I think that they will absolutely kill it. I don't know why they haven't yet. I feel like they're going back slowly. They started with, you know, with the effect veilers. They started with the Stardust Dragons, the Black Roses. You know, imagine a Starlight Cyber Dragon, a Starlight Dark Arm Dragon. I think a lot of people will go for those. I would eat them up, to be honest with you. I like Starlights. I think that the rarity looks great. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's completely different from other stuff that they've done. And I feel like it suits a lot of the cards. Unlike Ghost Share, I don't think Ghost Share suits every single type of card. Like, for example, Fusions. I just don't think it looks that good. I do think that Starlight looks good on pretty much every single card. So if they bring it back to, you know, the OG vanillas, if they bring it back to Dark Magician Girl, Dark Paladin, oh man, like, that will be insane. I'll be super excited for something like that. That's my thoughts on Ghosts from the Past 2. I really hope that Konami is not pulling the plug on Ghost Shares and just like calling it a day. I feel like maybe like they might be doing that. You know, they're saying, here, have your Ghost Shares. We're never printing these again. They're too much trouble. It feels like they're really doing that. This is like the end game for Ghost Shares. I hope it's not the case. If it is, I hope they bring it to Starlights, because I would love to have these cards in Starlight Rare. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Ghosts from the Past 2. I know that this has way more hits than the first Ghosts from the Past. However, I feel like that they are going to print this to the moon and back. And I feel like the saturation is going to kind of kill the investment value in the sealed product. I hope it's not the case. I mean, people are still suffering their losses from the first Ghosts from the Past, but maybe that was because there was too much hype around that one. What are your thoughts? Comment down below, let me know what you think. And if you would like to see more of my thoughts on Ghosts from the Past 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, check out my Patreon down below. If you're interested in supporting me to keep doing this, I would consider using the links in the description to shop. It would give me a kickback and allow me to fund a lot of the YouTube projects that I have in mind. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed that and hopefully you learned something. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.